I'm Gilda Morales, and I'm the project manager of information services at the Center for American Women in Politics at Eagleton Institute. My role is to make sure that the information is available for the scholars and for the press and for the public. The information has to be there. We couldn't do anything else without the information. So we have the list of women in Congress, and so we list the women in Congress and how many women served in each Congress, so that's there. You have the women in the current Congress with a little 4-sentence little bios stating where they came from, what they have done. And that's for both the House and the Senate. Then we have the same thing for women in statewide office, which are governors, lieutenant governors, attorney generals, secretaries of state, and so forth. All the what they call the constitutional offices, they're elected constitutional offices. So those are the main ones. But the one that we use the most, and everybody that goes out to talk uses the most, is the women in elective office, which gives you a summary of all the different fact sheets. And the women of color, which also gives you a summary of all the fact sheets. So those two fact sheets are our main ones. I have pride in the fact that the Bureau of Statistics for the United States, every year I have to give them the numbers for the previous year. And that's really a neat thing because they are the ones that gather in 1 year what happened in the United States in 1 year. It's always nice for me to see all my tables, you know, there, the Source Guild at the Center for American Women in Politics. So that's a nice thing. So they consider us the source, as does the House clerk, the clerk of the House in the United States Congress, the Library of Congress, and the Supreme Court of the United States. They come to us for information. Right now, the Library of Congress is actually capturing every day our data on the website so that they have it for future, and we gave that permission about 5 years ago that they could do that. They consider us the source of what's happening in women in politics on any particular day. That's the pride that the CAWP has about the work that we do. We have a database of 17,000 names right now of women that have run for office and women who have served in office. So we have candidate files and we have office holder files. And what we do, and we're starting to do it now, is gather a candidate list from every state that's filing. So I have a list of all the filing dates, go in, get the candidate list, and we start identifying women. We have a page called Election Watch that we start putting that data in. I have a list of ambiguous names. So when a student, intern of mine starts doing work, first of all, they're going to be looking at names. So all the Terrys, Pats, whatevers, or anything ending in IE, they're going to find out if they're a male or a female. They just can't say, oh, the name is Michael or the name is Chris, because I have 3 Chris's in the legislature, in state legislatures right now in 2014, who are women. So you just can't take for granted that someone is a male or a female. It's much easier to do it now because of the internet. And everybody has a Facebook page. We do a lot of gender verification. There are 7,383 state legislators in the country. So once in January and February, when they go up onto their websites, my students start working, clicking in every name to make sure that we didn't miss a woman. That's one of the first things we do in January. So it's very time-consuming. But I have great students. Always had. I've always had great students. Election Watch on election, the day after election, is the craziest time of the year. Because everyone wants the information now. And we have to gather almost 50 states. I think 4 are not having elections in 2014. But we have to gather that information of 46 states, like overnight. So we kind of divvy out the states, and we'll say, okay, 5 staffers, you take these 4 states, and you take these 4, and so forth. I don't sleep. I actually don't sleep. I just kind of go right into the shower and come in, because then we have the morning after here. And everybody needs to know what's going on. So yeah, it's mind-boggling. I always tell my students, when you see data on women in politics, look at the source, because you were the one that helped gather that information, because the source is always the Center for American Women in Politics.